Right. Here's a developer who is a little bit, conscious about the bill at the end of the day. He says each day I fight to really save every penny on App Engine.
We all.
We all do. How could you help us better profile our applications? App stats is something you actually mentioned. He thinks is a little bit hard to use. And what's the best way to kind of tune your application?
Oh, interesting question. Okay, so yeah, we mentioned app stats earlier. I think we've kind of discussed this before. We think that app stats is still probably the way to go. It's built into the platform already. No external tooling needed, so it's there ready to go. It will only profile your RPCs. It won't tell you where all of the hotspots in your code are, but it will definitely give you a really good indication about what your application is spending its time doing, particularly in terms of RPC calls, calls to the data store that includes as well. It's very easy to get up and running as well, so we're not sure if it's difficult for you to actually get up and running and using it, or whether it's difficult for you to actually get anything meaningful from it. But generally, it's fairly easy for both Java and for Python to get up and running with AppStats. To get access to the console, so it provides a custom console that you can have access to,
Yep.
which you can actually include in your basic admin console. And once you have that available to you, you can look at your RPCs, you can look at each one of your requests, open up the request, and then drill down into the request to see where you're spending your time. And even then, with Python, and I'm sure this is available for Java, but with Python, you can actually look at the code that actually generated the RPC call.
Yeah, in Python you have stack traces. That's
exactly,
right.
Yeah. So with Python, you can actually dive straight into where the code is that's actually causing your long RPC calls and actually modify them, redeploy the application, and see what result you get. So that's really cool. So I think we recommend using app stats, definitely for RPCs. I'm not really familiar with any other profilers for App Engine, although I do think that Khan Academy actually produced a profiler. Ben Kamen's may have done, so
Yeah.
probably worth looking into.
Yeah, check out Ben Kamen's blog. He does have a Python profiler with some nice UI widgets that tell you about the loading performance of your site. To kind of finish up on the app stats, I think what some of our users sometimes run into is they feel like all the information that app stats provide is really overwhelming, and it's good maybe to take a step back and one of the things that AppStats provides that I really enjoy looking at is there's these timeline graphs that kind of give you a breakdown of the RPCs visually. And 99% of the time when I'm using AppStats, I only look at the graphs. Right. There's a whole page through of stack traces and debugging information and data that's being sent back and forth. Almost everything related to performance of your application you can find just by looking at the graph. You can see whether you have data store reads that are staircased all sequentially behind one another, or whether they're happening in parallel. You can see that you're making a memcache call and then a data store call, which tells you there's a memcache miss, right? So really just getting comfortable with those graphs, I think, will provide most of the value with very little effort.
Okay. Would you recommend it for running on production as well?
I do, but depending on the traffic of your site, if you only have a few requests per second, then yeah, sure, run it. If you're doing a lot of traffic, what we recommend is that you either deploy another version in production that you hit. So you can say version.yourappid.appspot.com and access that directly. And that way you don't have all the data from all the requests from all your users kind of piling on top of each other, but you can very carefully just poke at your application and say, I'm going to do this one request here, and then I want to see the AppStats profile. We've even had people with like mobile clients, they'll have a couple of users that report performance problems, and they'll change their application to kind of send down a ping to those users and say, okay, this mobile client should connect to a different backend name. And then those users are kind of isolated on their own version, where you can kind of do diagnostics. Maybe you can enable some traces, you can enable AppStats, and then when everything's all good, you tell the clients to kind of go back to the original version.
Okay,
so yeah, a lot of ways to utilize it.